I delivered my daughter in the middle of November, and that holiday season was full of questions and assumptions. I wished sometimes I had some zingers to throw back at people, like, would you ask my husband the same question? Or what makes you think we automatically want to have more children? Or would you like me to comment on your body? Welcome to Baby or Bust. I'm your host, Dr. Lora Shahine, and I am tired of infertility and miscarriage being misunderstood, hidden, and full of stigma. Welcome to the podcast with interviews and in-depth discussions and topics, all things fertility. Holidays are tough when you are struggling to build your family. This episode is coming out the week of Thanksgiving, which is the kickstart of the holiday season for many families, full of family gatherings, work holiday events, and lots of catching up, small talk, and likely questions about your family plans. This can be exhausting when you're dealing with infertility and miscarriage, and this episode is all about supporting you during this holiday season. Thank you to our friends at Seattle Sperm Bank and Greg Moga for sponsoring the show. Please take a moment to give us a 5-star review anywhere you listen to your podcasts. It helps other people find this show and the support that they need on their fertility journey. Today, we're going to talk about surviving Thanksgiving when you're dealing with infertility. Whether you are trying to conceive for the first time, whether you've suffered a miscarriage in the last year, whether you have a child but you'd like to add to your family, you are struggling to complete your family and it hasn't happened yet, and you're getting ready to face family and friends and a lot of awkward fertility conversations. This can be anxiety provoking, even thinking about it. So I have some survival tips to help you prepare and get through that day and this time of year. And I'm here to help. Don't go. What? Yeah. Don't go to Thanksgiving. If it's too painful and it's too many triggers and you just know it's going to be a ridiculous amount of questions, don't go. You could be sick. You could maybe not be able to get off of work. I know that this might not be possible for everyone, but when you are suffering from grief and you feel that you're going to be forced to be in a situation where you're surrounded by people that don't understand and might not be very compassionate, it's okay to protect yourself. Now, if you enjoy Thanksgiving and you want to go. There might be people that you want to see. You might enjoy the company. You might enjoy the food. I'm not saying that you have to skip Thanksgiving if you're infertile. I'm just saying that if it's going to be too painful, it's okay to put yourself first. Now, if you do decide to go to Thanksgiving, here are some more survival tips. Find your ally. Find that person that you can confide in and tell them really what's been going on in the last year or the last time the family got together, so they are aware and they can even play defense or even offense. So this person could be your partner if you have a partner. Your partner, of course, can be your ally. That person is trying to conceive with you. That person knows all the ups and downs that you've been with, and they can really be there for you during that meal. If you don't have a partner, or you know what, it's nice to have an ally that's not your partner. There could be times where you're not in the same room with your partner, you're talking in different conversations. Your partner might be dealing with their own offense and defense during the Thanksgiving gatherings. So maybe find an ally, someone that you can confide in and talk about, and just say, hey, it's going to be really difficult for me to face Aunt Sally. Every time I see Aunt Sally, she asks me when I'm going to make my mom a grandma, and I just can't handle it again this year. And that person can see that Aunt Sally is kind of coming over to chat with you and maybe saddles right up and starts changing the conversation. Just find that ally, find that person that if it's getting really tough, you guys could just go for a walk around the block, or just find that person that is your support person, whether it's your partner and maybe someone that's not your partner. I really hope you find that person that can help. Plan your responses. You know, some of those awkward fertility questions. How long have you two been together? When are you having kids? When are you going to make your mom a grandmother? When are you going to make your dad a grandfather? You're not getting any younger. Have you thought about freezing your eggs? So there's a couple different ways you can approach these awkward fertility conversation starters, just avoidance. Oh, we're thinking about it, and then just change the subject. Or, I'd really rather talk about something else. Have you read any good books lately? And just kind of deflect, change the conversation. Another is honesty. You could say, actually, it's been a really rough year. We've been trying. It's been about 6 to 8 months and we're still not pregnant. Or actually, I just had a miscarriage about a month ago. It's been really painful. And thanks for asking. Like, it totally depends on what you feel comfortable sharing. Or the third approach is some good zingers. Wow, that's a really personal question. I'm surprised you feel so comfortable asking that. So whether it is avoidance and deflection, whether it's pure honesty and sharing, or whether it's a good zinger that kind of makes you feel a little bit better and then you walk away, just find that right approach for you and try to think about it a little bit before you go so you're not caught off guard. Another tip, plan an exit strategy. If you're going, think about, okay, I'm going to make an appearance, I'm going to do the rounds, and I'm going to get out, or I'm going to leave before dessert, or I'm going to leave at a certain time, or come late. So everybody's sitting down and you're not having all that kind of chit chat and you can just kind of eat and leave. Just consider having an exit strategy to limit the amount of exposure to those awkward fertility conversations. And finally, one of the most important survival tips for Thanksgiving when you're struggling to build your family is plan to recharge. So you decide to go or you don't decide to go, whatever. Hopefully you have the rest of the weekend to just recharge, whether it is binging your favorite TV show, reading a new book, whether it's starting a new hobby, making a new recipe, doing your holiday cards. Whatever it is, plan for quiet time or plan to be with someone who really understands you and supports you. Find some activities and some quiet to recharge and find joy. Something that I look forward to every Thanksgiving weekend is watching the movie Love, Actually. It has been a tradition of mine for years. It's a fantastic movie with a star-studded cast. It's a lot of interwoven stories centered around the holidays, mainly in London. And it's a little bit of romance, it's a little bit of family, it's a little bit of drama, a lot of friendship. And it's just a wonderful tradition that I started years ago and I watch every year. So if you haven't seen that movie, maybe that's something that you could plan for to bring in your holiday season. I will share my own experience with holidays and the fertility questions as the fertility story this week. I delivered my daughter in the middle of November, and that holiday season was full of questions and assumptions. I had struggled to conceive her, but eventually found that I had a hormonal imbalance that once treated, conception happened soon after. I had been terrified throughout the pregnancy. You just know too much as an OBGYN about all the things that could go wrong each trimester and even near delivery. When I finally had her, I was a mom. I had finally had a small sense of relief, but the questions just kept coming. When are you going to try again? How is having a baby impacting your training, your career as a doctor? You don't want to wait too long before you start trying again. Should you really be having a glass of wine tonight? Aren't you breastfeeding? And the comments on my body, oh, my body. The postpartum weight fight is a battle, huh? Looks like you're doing a great job trying to get back to that pre-pregnancy weight. The comments and the questions were just never ending. And I just couldn't figure out why it felt like my pregnancy, my momming, my weight struggles, and even breastfeeding was all anyone wanted to talk about that holiday season. I typically laughed and changed subjects, but later I wished sometimes I had some zingers to throw back at people like, would you ask my husband the same question? Or, what makes you think we automatically want to have more children? Or would you like me to comment on your body? I didn't have it in me to shoot back with those zingers in the moment, but I sure enjoyed imagining what it would have been like later. I hope this episode helps you navigate this holiday season, no matter where you are on your family building journey. find this episode and all others on my website, drlorashahine.com. You can find more resources, my YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok. I just love educating. Send an email to hello@drlorashahine.com with any fertility stories you'd like to share, topics you'd like us to cover, and people you'd like us to interview. Thank you to my producer, Shannon Perry, and her amazing team at Audiotocracy. This is your host, Dr. Lora Shahine. See you next week, where we interview Dr. Stephanie Fine all about weight loss and fertility. Until then, wishing you love, luck, and pineapples.